Helmet setup. If you're ever on the internet at all, you can see pretty much everything that you can possibly imagine when it comes to night vision helmet setup. We wanted to do a video to go over the pros and the cons to different things, what we run, what we think is absolutely necessary, what we would consider an optional add-on, and all that good stuff. So one of the things and one of the main reasons why we wanted to do this video is it's very easy, and we see this a lot with both night vision, helmets, all of that. People love to over accessorize, and a lot of that's driven by the internet, a lot of that's driven by forums of other people that are just frankly inexperienced with running night vision, spending a lot of time behind goggles, and they mimic what they see out there. So we want to go through and kind of take down the barriers of what you actually need to get set up and running when you want to get into helmet mounted night vision and what that looks like. So of course, to set up a helmet, you're going to need a helmet. There's really three main ways that you can go. You can go with a basic bump helmet. That's just a polymer on the cheaper side, just basic bump helmet that's simply going to kind of get you up and running. Then you can go to a carbon, which is what this is. That's also, technically going to fall in your bump helmet category, but it is constructed of carbon fiber, so you're going to have increased resistance to impacts, but it is not going to give you ballistic protection. Incredibly light, incredibly comfortable. And then you're going to move into your ballistic helmets. That's what is going to give you true ballistic protection of varying degrees depending on what helmet you're running. Some are rated just for pistol calibers, some are rated for rifle calibers, and you kind of get a little bit of everything. So we'll do another video on the specific helmets that we run and what we like, but those are pretty much your various categories of helmets to get started with. So once you've got your helmet, what's next? The first thing that you're going to want to do is get a helmet mount. This is a Wilcox G24 mount. This is a dovetail solution. It's got a breakaway feature and is highly adjustable, pretty much the gold standard of mounts out on the marketplace. Regardless of what mount you go with, you're not going to be able to mount your goggles or your PVS 14 to your helmet unless you have a helmet mount. So a helmet mount is absolutely necessary. That's going to fall in the category of things that we consider an absolute requirement. Then let's go to the back of the helmet, and we're going to hit on something else that we would consider an absolute requirement to be able to run night vision comfortably, and that is a counterweight kit of some sort. This is our improved counterweight kit that we manufacture, and this is our design going after dual functionality. So we've got a PVS 31 battery pack in here because this helmet is primarily set up for PVS 31 alphas or BNVD 1531 that uses the cold weather battery pack. But as I'm sure you guys have seen in some of our photos and different things on social media, this is dual purpose, and you can have a 10 round PMAG in here that will also give you functional weight but balance out the weight of your goggles, which is ultimately all you're doing with a counterweight kit. You want to, when you put this helmet on and you drop goggles on, you don't want your helmet to be tipping down, and the counterweight kit is what balances out the weight of the night vision. So we're going to put that in the category of absolutely necessary. Now we're moving away from the things that are absolutely necessary, but we would say highly recommended. The next thing that I'm going to highlight is helmet mounted ear pro. If you've ever spent a lot of time behind goggles, wearing a night vision helmet or any helmet in general, whether or not you've have night vision mounted on it or not, helmet mounted ear pro is a huge benefit, especially the OpsCore amps. So we're an OpsCore distributor, and we definitely love the OpsCore amps, and for good reason, but we're not just telling you that because we're an OpsCore distributor. It's because we run our gear. We've experienced a lot of different ear pro that can be helmet mounted, everything from sword-ins to contacts to amps. And really, OpsCore's done a great job with the whole amp setup because it is a modular system. It can pop off, and we'll show you right here. You can take that off and put it right on a headband, or you can have it on your helmet setup. But the reason that these are great is because the lockup. You can see when you're wearing this, the lockup on your ears is phenomenal, and that's also going to help you just stabilize your helmet in general, and it's going to help also balance the weight of the night vision out, and it's very easy to stow. So of course you can definitely run over the head ear pro, or you could run in-ears, and this OpsCore SF even has a channel for a headband ear pro if you're going to go that route. And sometimes the objective or the mission of what you're trying to accomplish, the application, is going to dictate that might be the best route. For us in general, most of the time, if we are running helmet mounted night vision, we are not taking our helmet on and off a lot where we would still need a comm setup. So for us, this is going to work great and something that we like to run. So again, what we can't emphasize enough is all of this is going to come down to application, and your helmet's really an intimate thing. I mean, it's no different than you get in your car and you kind of want things set up the way you want it, and you want your seat right, you want your steering wheel right, and all that good stuff. Your helmet's the same way, because for you to be able to perform, this has to be efficient, it has to be natural. You've got to know exactly what you're doing and where to grab, because when you move into working outside of a lit environment, you're really going off of feel and intuition. So that's why we emphasize, just like night vision is very application driven, put on your helmet what makes sense for you. So we're going to say, outside of the required helmet mount and counterweight kit, although the helmet mounted ear pro is not required, we would heavily recommend that that's something that you look into if your mission or your application dictates that. Then moving right up here to the side, you're going to see we've got a Princeton Tech light. This is a low output light that has both a red output and a white light output. What's great about this is you don't want to blow out your natural night vision when you're working at night, whether you're inside a structure, whether you're outside. You don't want to just blow out your eyes and then have to take the time to readapt to the dark. So with these being low outputs, anything that's very small admin tasks right in front of you, you don't want to put off a huge signature, even though that's going to put off some. It's very dim and going to work well for those applications that you just need a little bit of light to, say, make an adjustment, things like that. These are the Princeton Techs. These are great. Moving on the other side, you're going to see that this is a Surefire M300V, and this is the Pro body. So this has the mount that you can swivel, which is very nice, and it's sitting on a theorem barrier arc that then you can adjust in that nature to provide umbrella light, provide forward-facing light. This is going to be a higher output light, and it's also dual spectrum. So this puts out IR light and white light, both of which can be used for navigating, signaling, showing somebody an area, flooding out an environment, because this is going to be a really good, nice throw. We use these a lot when we're hog hunting and, say, we're going into recovery mode, goggles up, and we're navigating and walking through a field. This is something that's great, because ultimately the Princeton Tech isn't going to cut it from an output standpoint that the Surefire would. So a higher output helmet light, in addition to a low output helmet light, if your application dictates that, those are two things to think about, that you can run either or both. And frankly, for our applications, a lot of what we do, a lot of what we use, say we're out on a range, going through a demo or something like that, and we've got to adjust a customer's laser or something small, we've got low output. Say we want to shine down range and illuminate some targets, we've got high output. What's great about this being helmet mounted is you don't have to point a gun or a rifle at what you're trying to illuminate. Say if you were to rely on a weapon mount or a laser device, and also it's hands-free. So even though you could go handheld and solve some of these issues, you're killing a hand. So things like recovering hogs and different applications where you do want to retain both uses of your hands, these are great. So definitely the category of something that would be recommended if it fits your need, but not something that's required at all. Also, the strobe. So this is a Core Survival Hellstar. These are great. We love these strobes. They're very easy to manipulate. But the fact is, a lot of people don't need strobes. We use these when we're out on ranges. If we're working with say a law enforcement team, or we are doing something like, say, hog hunting, and we want to have identification on where people are for safety reasons, or you can pop these off and set it on a pig to signal it, to mark it, if, say, you're going and moving away from that but need to come back to it and be able to identify it easy, these are great. But again, not everybody needs these. A lot of mill and LE applications will use these, but a lot of commercial customers may not have a need for these unless they have, say, that safety requirement that we mentioned, or say you've got that you're pulling it off and using it for something else. But other than that, we've got some patches on here. Really, this is an IR patch, so this will put a reflective glow out if hit with IR. Those can be used for various applications, whether that be in training environments, in mill or LE environments, or just because you want to put a cool patch on your helmet. Let's be honest, half the battle is looking cool. Joke, but funny. So that's what we've got on this helmet. It's pretty minimal. We recommend to really look at what you're using and look at what you're doing. Don't over accessorize. Don't go out and immediately, you get your kit, you get your night vision, you're all excited. don't just go start buying stuff because you see it on the internet, because frankly, a lot of times you're wasting your money. You're going to clutter up your helmet and you're going to create unnecessary bulk, snag hazards, things like that. And that's why this is a very refined setup, because we've gone through multiple phases of testing kit, using kit, and arranging our helmets where we have found the most efficient setup for us. And that's ultimately what we recommend to do. No different than you can't learn night vision without having proper tube time and being behind the goggles. You can't learn night vision helmet setup for you without going and using it. Go shoot during the day with your helmet on, use a scoped carbine, use a red dot. How's your ear pro going to line up with your stock of your rifle? All those different things go into it. And you'll start understanding the different nuances of what you want in your helmet, how you want to tweak it, how you want to move it, because how you run your helmet may not be the same as how we run our helmet. This is simply one way to do it, and one of our helmets that's set up in this fashion, but all of them are similar, but can be various and tweaked a little bit depending on application. But overall, that's the down and dirty on helmet setup. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and we will try to get to those. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to call us or reach out.